Hi, welcome back to Rating the List, where we review, discuss, and reimagine popular movie lists objectively. We're your hosts. I'm Jerry.
And I'm Brad, and on this episode we'll be exploring number 33 from AFI's 100 Years, 100 Passions, the 100 Greatest Love Stories of All Time.
All right, number 33 is Camille, released in 1936, directed by George Picor, starring Greta Garbo and Robert Taylor.
The synopsis for this romantic drama is as follows. Marguerite Gautier, played by Greta Garbo, is a well-known courtesan living in the demi-monde of mid-19th century Paris. Marguerite's dressmaker and procuress, Prudence Duvournay, arranges a rendezvous at the theater with the fabulously wealthy Baron de Varville. Marguerite has never met him and briefly mistakes Armand Duval, played by Robert Taylor, a handsome young man of good family but no wealth, for the Baron. She finds him charming, but when the mistake is explained, she accepts the Baron without hesitation. Marguerite spends lavishly, sometimes out of generosity, but more often because she loves living life to the fullest. She does this because she has consumption, and her days are numbered. She has long spells of illness, and during one, the only person to visit her is Armand. She learns of this when she recovers and invites him to her birthday party. During the party, she falls ill and retreats to her bedroom. Armand follows and professes his love for her, something she's never known. She gives him a key and tells him to return later once the party is done. While she waits for him, the Baron returns, and she has to have her maid bolt the door so Armand can't enter the house. The Baron is suspicious and wonders who is at the door, but she deflects. At Armand's family home, he asks his father for money to travel and prepare for his career in the Foreign Service. He sends Marguerite a scathing letter, but when she visits, they reconcile immediately. She is amazed to learn of his parents' 30-year happy marriage and tells him he'll never love her for 30 years, to which he replies he'll love her for the rest of his life. Armand takes her to the country where her health improves on living well and being loved. Their idyllic life ends when Armand's father comes to the house and begs her to turn Armand away, knowing her past will ruin his chances of a successful career or place in society. When Armand returns, she acts coldly and tells him the Baron is expecting her. He can do nothing but watch her leave. Back in Paris, Armand comes face to face with the Baron and Marguerite at a gambling hall. He wins a fortune from the Baron and begs Marguerite to come away with him. She lies and says she loves the Baron. Armand wounds the Baron in a duel and must leave France for 6 months. When he returns, Marguerite is gravely ill. He goes to her and she confesses her love for him before dying in his arms.
Okay, this was another sad story.
Yeah, and it was set in the same time period as Gigi, roughly.
Oh, but a whole different...
Very different vibe. So that movie kind of glosses over that part of society a little bit and kind of almost glamorizes it. This one kind of shows that there's a little bit of a dark side of it. So the demi-monde is basically, it's...
Are they prostitutes?
They're kept women, so they're not prostitutes. So it's more like a sugar daddy, sugar baby situation.
Okay.
So they're kept women, and, this is kind of it can be a little bit dangerous for the women and things like that. And, they have no real security in these matters, but, they get to live, life with a certain lifestyle,
and I guess they're happy about it?
I guess they're happy about it. I guess some of them, if they aren't, of society, they can't really marry into it. So the only way to live that life is to basically be, side piece for these rich dudes, and that's kind of...
All right.
It was kind of
because some of them gave off a vibe that they were like the Baron and her. It felt like they were a couple.
Well, that's kind of the thing, is they are
until he gets married, or she becomes a side piece.
I mean, she's just that's basically what she is. She's never going to marry him because she's not.
Except in this story,
she's not acceptable to marry him because she's not in that place in society, and you know, he gets a nice, you know, piece of arm candy or whatever until he decides that he doesn't want to do it or
I see.
whatever.
And so the
on.
Baron was like, I gotta have this woman.
Yeah.
And then he has her, and then she's like, falls in love with this guy.
Right.
And he knows it. Like, the Baron knows something's up, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, when she gives Armand the key and he's like knocking on the door and she's kind of playing it off and she's just trying to ingest. He clearly knows something's up. Mm-hmm. He's gone for long stretches of time and...
Yeah, it's obvious.
It's kind of obvious, but, you know, I mean, what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
I guess she had a lot of debt. She racked up a lot of debt.
She racked up a lot of debt because she was living well beyond her means because she knew she wasn't going to live very long.
I didn't even think about that.
Because she's like, when I'm dead, you know, I got no more debt, so.
That's true. It was a really sad story. One thing about Greta Garbo, like, I know she's like an icon, right? Everybody talked about Greta Garbo. She's gorgeous. She's not a very good laughing actor. If that makes sense.
She has some serious resting bitch face.
Well, she has resting bitch face, but that's sexy to most men. I don't know, it's weird. But anyway, like, it's not that. It's like when she laughs in a movie she's in, she does this. And it's like so fake.
I think it kind of works for this movie because she's essentially fake all the time except for when she's in those few moments with Armand. But I think she was
laughing like that with Armand too. It's like, girl, take some acting lessons. Like, get a fake laugh. Like, what's your problem?
Tells Hollywood legend to get acting lessons.
On her laugh. That's all. Everything else is fine.
Well, they clearly, directors and producers didn't care, and obviously audiences didn't either.
Yeah, true.
So,
anyway, but I digress. Yeah, it was a very interesting story.
Yeah, it's written by Alexandre Dumas. So you know he wrote the Count of Monte Cristo.
Oh, okay! Wow.
And the Man in the Iron Mask.
Wow.
So this is based on a story of his.
Yeah, it is a story that could get really convoluted, but it doesn't.
It's a story I actually could see getting remade because this stuff kind of still goes on a little bit. So you've got like, you know, it happens now. It's like, you know, all these like rich tech dudes. A lot of them have, you know, these kind of, you know, they're called sugar babies now. So, you know, a lot of them are like, you know, younger women like going through college, and that's kind of how they pay.
I didn't even know this is happening.
How do
you know?
You're such a sheltered person.
I guess so. Like, like yesterday, we're like talking about the Coliseum. Was it the Coliseum? Oh no, Levi's Stadium, where the Niners play. And Brad like knew what size purse you could bring into the facility.
It's the same at every sporting event. That's why.
Well, when was the last time you went to a sporting event?
You know how many A's games I've been to?
I know. Yeah, that's true. Anyway, but yeah, yeah, I guess you could do a modern take on it.
Yeah, I mean, you could, it's a little bit different now because I don't think there's nearly this stigma. Like, you know, it's not like these girls couldn't marry these rich guys. I mean, it happens all the time, right? I mean,
right. There's not much.
There's plenty of trophy.
There's no, like, you know, shunning of someone if you marry someone lower than your class.
I mean, maybe in certain professions they might like if they wanted to be like a lawyer or something like professional where their conduct.
Oh, like Pretty Woman.
Where their conduct is, well, Pretty Woman's different. I mean, she's a prostitute.
She's an actual prostitute.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit different there. I mean, but you know,
because you know, Julia Roberts would totally be a prostitute.
It's a whole different story that we'll get to when we.
Is it on this list?
It is. It is on this list. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. I think it's in the 20s actually.
Oh wow! Well, it is a good movie. Yeah. Okay.
issues, but we'll
Camille.
We'll talk about it when we get to it. But yeah, so it's this whole complicated part of society that it's there and it doesn't really need to be. Honestly, it's like you just get rid of all this stuff and marry the person that you love, so long as you both want to do it. And
yeah, it's just really sad that a lot of our history is based upon just this weirdness with hierarchy.
It's not just that. It's like these poor women have to make this kind of decision in their life. Like, she's got to choose.
Yeah.
She makes essentially makes the choice at first. It's like that first meeting, she's like smitten with him.
Yes.
And then you kind of see, oh, he's not the Baron.
Yeah, but she
This
doesn't
sucks.
care. Yeah.
And then, she gets introduced to the Baron. It's like, well, that's what I got to do. Nice meeting you, basically.
Yeah.
Even though he's genuinely nice to her, and, she can see that he's a good person and all of that. And then, the whole, he kind of breaks her down, really, when he just, basically tells her he loves her. She's never had that before. And it's just she's kind of like, okay, I've got to figure out a way to. And
then they start off great, and then the dad comes in, and it's like,
And, he's doing the other unfortunate side of this is I don't have any, personal animosity towards you, but you have to understand what this is going to mean to him. Ultimately, it's like you're gonna, your status in society is going to hold him back. And if you really love him, you got to end this.
Yes. Yep.
And, he doesn't do it he's not.
Yeah, for all the kiss-offs, that was the nicest kiss-off I've ever seen.
It was on both sides. She understood, he understood that she truly loved his son. And he knew he was asking her to do something very, very difficult. And that whole scene is it's really, really good. It's filled with a lot of emotion, and you understand both sides of it. And they both know it sucks.
Yep.
But she ultimately agrees with him too. So
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, and then she's got to play this whole game, but still can't shake him, and he can't shake her, and then she ends up unfortunately dying from the illness that she knew she was going to die from.
And a little too late.
A little too late, but at least she gets the chance to tell him how she really feels, and he knows before she passes what she really meant to him. I gave this one a 61. Jerry gave it a 58, so the list score is 59.5. So
yeah. All right, so that's our spiel on Camille. If you would like to leave a message, please do so. If you have any opinions on this movie or any other, please leave comments. If you'd like to email us directly, email us at ratingthelist@gmail.com. But for now, that's it. I'm Jerry.
I'm Brad.
And we're Rating the List. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.